It's not gonna work, guys. I don't think that's gonna work. How long did you think about it? I don't even remember his name, and I don't care to. What? Confusion. It's really hard to think of them in seasons. I'm sad. What frick is that ending? Hi guys, welcome back to another Nerd Rants video. We are actually doing a review this time. I finished one of the series I was working on. It's great. I'm sorry I had so many random videos. It just took me a bit to finish it. It's been a weird, kind of busy last 2-3 months with the holidays and all that, so yeah, watching new things was not really happening a whole lot. But anyway, I have finished something, so we get to have a review. Yeah. I watched The Witcher. I really liked it. Honestly, I'm just gonna start and say my least favorite season is probably the first one, because some of you probably know what I'm gonna say already. There were so many just nude scenes and just all of those scenes. There was so much of it. There was so much of it in the first season. Like, every time Yennefer was on screen, I wasn't watching, pretty much. I was just listening, because she seemed to be the source of pretty much all of it. So yeah, I mostly listened to Yennefer's origin story and was like, ugh, okay, I'm not a fan of your character. Can we just go back to Geralt and Ciri's stories, please? That's all I really care about. It also took me a minute to realize that the timelines were staggered all the way up until the end of the first season. It took me a minute. It took me a minute to realize that. Once I did, though, things made a whole lot more sense. But yeah, the first season was probably my least favorite. Necessary, because it introduces the characters and introduces the plot of what's happening. But it's my least favorite. Partially because of the whole Yennefer's piece of the story constantly being that. But also because we don't get Ciri and Geralt's father-daughter relationship until season 2, which is really, really sad because it's wonderful and I love it. I love their dynamic. It's so great. It's so good. But yeah. The first season was, I got through the first season because of the cool creatures, and like all the effects and stuff were great, and Geralt was awesome. Like, Henry Cavill did amazing. I love Henry Cavill in general because he's just this big nerd and it's great. So him playing the main character in a fandom that I know he cares about is wonderful. It's wonderful. Like, there's 3 seasons out. Supposedly there's a 4th one coming, but Henry Cavill left the show, and so they have to replace him, and it sounds like they're replacing him with Liam Hemsworth, and I'm like, nothing against Liam Hemsworth. He did great as Gale in the Hunger Games. He's not a bad actor, but like, you can't take this and replace it with that. I'm sorry, I can't. I really can't do it. At this point, I don't even think that I'll watch the 4th season, because like, yeah, they left us on a cliffhanger, and oh my gosh, things are happening, and Ciri's dad, and blah, 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 blah. But If Henry Cavill is not coming back as Geralt, I have very low motivation to watch it. Because Henry Cavill was the character. He was Geralt. He did amazing as Geralt. And it's just... And I had a rant about recasting and stuff in my Superman and Lois video. Because they got very, very lucky when recasting Jonathan. I remember their names this time. But they got very lucky when recasting Jonathan. They got a guy that looked close enough and ended up portraying the character pretty similarly, and so the chemistry and stuff between the characters was still pretty similar. But then we also have the whole Grindelwald recasting in Fantastic Beasts franchise, where they get an actor that doesn't look at all like Johnny Depp, who doesn't play the character at all like Johnny Depp, who basically is doing a completely different character, and they don't address it at all. And it's just there, and they're like, cool, it's Grindelwald. See? Same guy, same character, totally. And it's like, no. This is a different man. This is a different character. Why? You can't fool us. No. So yeah. That's the two sides of recasting. And I feel like Liam Hemsworth is falling closer to the Grindelwald situation, where he's definitely not as invested in the franchise, I'm sure, because the reason Henry Cavill is gone and won't be playing Geralt anymore is because he said the show is going too far away from the source material for his liking, and so he literally just went, nope, bye. And I'm like, you big nerd. Good on you. Cool, that's great. But also, I need my Geralt, and you're leaving me here, and now we get Liam, and it's not gonna be the same at all, because I'm sure, because Liam Hemsworth has a very different look. I don't care how much makeup they put on him, he's got a very different look, and almost a younger look, which it's not gonna work, guys. I don't think that's gonna work. And he's definitely gonna have a different chemistry with all the characters, I'm sure, because all the actors in general, they have 3 seasons of working with Henry Cavill, and so they're used to Henry Cavill and how he plays the character and how things go, and so they're gonna have to relearn how to interact with the character of Geralt, because it's a different actor who's going to portray him at least a little bit differently. I don't know how into the Witcher fandom Liam Hemsworth is, but I doubt it is as much as Henry Cavill. Someone asked Henry Cavill if he preferred the show or the video game The Witcher, and he said I prefer the books. So yeah, I'm sure Liam Hemsworth is not that into the Witcher fandom. But yeah, it's very disappointing, and I don't think I'll watch season 4 if and when that comes out. I can't, guys. I can't. You took the main character. The one the entire show, the entire series is named after. And you recast him, and how long did you think about it? How long did you think about that recasting, honestly? I would like to know how long you considered and how many people you considered before you went, you know what, Liam Hemsworth is the best option. What were your criteria for the best option? I'm just saying. It's really, really sad. But yeah. So yeah, I love the casting of Henry Cavill. Series casting is good. Yennefer, I warmed up to her character when we got to season 2, and you know, there was little to none of all the fun scenes, you know, that the season 1 was full of. There was pretty much none of that in seasons 2 and 3, which I really, really loved. I loved it. I was so happy. But yeah. So without all of that, hanging on to her character, she was actually very fun and I liked her character. And in season 1 they entered Yennefer and Geralt meet and they have their relationship, and Geralt makes a wish to save her from a crazy djinn, and they then start, you know, crossing paths and blah blah blah, and he's going like, it's obviously implied that they're gonna be an actual thing, and I was not invested in any way in that relationship. But once we got into season 2 and we had less of the just like sexual side of it, because oh my gosh, so much of that in season 1. But when we got past that and we were just like, you know what, let's just focus on story, the characters, how they interact, cool. Then I'm totally all for the relationship, because we're actually building the characters and building this relationship they have and actually building something. I prefer that. And so when they stopped just started showing the characters and how they interact and how the relationship dynamic is, I actually liked it. Also, the show has, it's one of the few shows that has ever done this, but it created a bisexual character that I didn't absolutely hate. Or didn't, that didn't, you know, annoy me. It was kind of impressive. Probably partially because, they didn't decide to do that until, like, they imply it in like the middle of season 2 when he comes back. I don't know if that's how it works in the original content, if he actually is that, but whatever. So yeah, they're focused on the actual character of Jaskier before they decided to go, hey, he's this. I still didn't like any of the scenes where they were showing that. Like, he has, in season 3, he has, he gets a love interest who's a dude and a prince. And I didn't like that character. He was annoying. I didn't like him at all. And he's probably going to play a bigger role in season 4, which is another reason I'm not looking forward to that. I don't like him as a character. Gay or not, he's just, ugh. I don't even remember his name, and I don't care to. But yeah. All their scenes together where they're, you know, laying heavy on the implication that they're gonna be a thing. I was like, this is kind of gross. And out of nowhere, like, why? There's like, they meet one episode, and I think it's literally that same episode. He's like, hey, stay, sing for us, you're a bard, you know. So he's singing for this prince and his, like, courtiers or whatever. And he's just about confessing his love that same episode. I'm like, no, that is not. That shouldn't be how relationships work. I suppose sometimes it is, and I doubt those never seem to really end well when you go, hey, I met you, I hung out with you for a couple hours, I think I love you. That's not gonna fly. It's not gonna go very well in the long run. Sorry. But like, they kind of just like, here's this guy's character. You get like one episode where he introduced this character, then he meets Jaskier. Then Jaskier's basically declaring his love for him, and then the guy goes, maybe I do like him. And then that's about it. So, whereas Jaskier gets like an entire season and a half to develop his character beyond, I'm bisexual, this prince gets none. He gets maybe an episode, and the episodes are split between 3 storylines, so he gets a third, if not less, of an episode, because he's not the main character in the storyline he's involved in. So he's an annoying, stereotypical, like, I'm gay character, and that's its character. And then we have Jaskier, who's actually a decent character, and I enjoy his songs. And there's just the moments where because most of the time it's not addressed. It's just, yeah, I'm here, I do stuff. And then they throw those scenes in there, some of which don't seem to fit very well, or seem rushed, or like, why is this here? And I go, why? Why? I don't understand it. Like, they have a random line where he writes an amazing song bashing Geralt for abandoning him. And Yen shows up and goes, Geralt left you on bad terms too? And he goes, no, what are you talking about? Denying it. And then goes, it was from the heart. Perhaps a broken one. I'm like, no, you can't know. Don't be implying that. It's so out of nowhere. Like, nothing in all of their adventures throughout season 1 ever even hints that it's a possibility. And then they throw that line in there. I'm like, what's that? Where's that coming from? Why? What? Confusion. Yeah. But other than that, like the random, almost forced, out of nowhere, rushed gay scenes for Jaskier, he was a good character. And I liked him. And he wrote good songs. They're fun. And then we meet the other troop of bards or whatever. They sing like 2 or 3 songs. Only one of them is even remotely good, in my opinion. The first song they sing, they almost sound really pitchy. I don't know if they were trying to make them sound worse than Jaskier to make a point, or if that was just how it ended up working out, but like, the first song they sang was a little painful to listen to. Yeah. But, yeah, I should jump back to season 2. Between season 2 and 3, I'm not sure which one I prefer. Because of this, it's just this big overarching story, and it just bleeds, they just blend perfectly from one into the next. It's really hard to think of them in seasons, because they're only 8 episodes long, so they really could just be one long, they could just be like one 24-episode season, which would not be abnormal for a show like from like 10 years ago or something, 5-10 years ago. It would be totally normal to have a season that's like 24 episodes long. Granted, they're usually not an hour each episode, but I wouldn't be opposed. Like, it's not bad. It would take me just as long to watch it. The only reason they're seasons, honestly, I think, is because there's only so much they can film that length of episodes before they gotta go, okay, we gotta take a break, let the actors do something besides this, let them have a life, yeah. And I suppose take a break for them so they can develop and write and whatever else for the next couple episodes. So That's the only reason there's seasons, is because everyone needed a break and writers needed to do writing stuff, and yeah. But otherwise, it's pretty much just one really long season. But before I move to season 2, the Battle of Sodden, because it's the last 2 or 3 episodes. There's none of the sexual crap in there, and it's leading up to the Battle of Sodden. The Battle of Sodden is great because it's a bunch of mages and civilians versus the Nilfgaardian army and their mages who use forbidden magic. So it's just fun, and people are dying left and right, and there's mind control worms, which reminds me of that episode in Clone Wars with while they're on Geonosis. Yeah. But it's a very fun battle, and then we have Yennefer at the very end, just flamethrower charring everything. Yeah. Yes, season 2, we get Ciri and Geralt's relationship. It's lovely, wonderful. I love it. I love father found daughter relationship. It's even better when it's angsty father figure and daughter relationship, because it's just like, I didn't want to be a dad, but here we are. Yeah, fun times. Also, Ciri's storyline is interesting, with her figuring out she's a child of prophecy, which it'd be fun to figure the rest of that out, but at the same time, I don't. That'd be one of the only reasons I watch the 4th season, if I do, is to see how Cirilla's story plays out, because that's what I would care about at the moment, at this point. But even that would be tainted by the fact that her chemistry with Liam Hemsworth would be different from with Henry Cavill, and so would Yennefer's actress and Liam Hemsworth. Their chemistry would be different, and so their whole little family dynamic thing would be totally destroyed. And it was so freaking adorable. I loved it so much. Yeah, I feel like the things I loved about it, besides obviously the world and the cool creatures and all of that, which kept me going for the 1st season, the relationships and the characters they build throughout the 2nd and 3rd seasons are wonderful, and I love them. And that's all going to be uprooted and thrown off because they're recasting Geralt with someone that I'm not sure will work. I'm sad. I'm sorry I keep coming back to the fact that they're recasting Henry Cavill. I can't get over it. I got to the end of, I was getting to the end of season 3, and I'm on the last 2 episodes, and I go, no way does everything get resolved in 2 episodes. There's no way this is happening. And I looked at the dates, this ended in 2019-ish. So my brain went, a couple years, there's not going to be another season coming out. There's no way there's another season is coming out. And then I get to the end of season 3 and go, what the frick is that ending? Tell me they're not canceled. So then I looked it up and found out Liam Hemsworth is taking over. I'm like, no. I don't like that. I don't think this is gonna work. So now I'm just treating this like a show that got canceled, essentially. I get no answers. Because if I go to get answers, I'm probably gonna suffer for it, because I'm sorry, Liam Hemsworth. Nothing against you, but you have some absolutely massive shoes to fill. You better get really into the Witcher fandom really fast, because That's the only way you're gonna be able to even come close to making a comparable portrayal of Geralt of Rivia. And you also better start working hardcore with the other actors and stuff in the show so that you can have some chemistry with them, because oh my gosh, if you ruin these relationships and all of these dynamics that we've built, I will kill you. I'm a world building nut, I'm a character nut, I am a magic system nut, and I live for good character dynamics. Especially when it grows to be more familial. I love it with a passion. So when you take something like that I absolutely love, and you decide to throw a wrench in it by recasting or whatever, I take offense. It's not okay if you take these love dynamics and these loved relationships and you ruin them. So yeah, I completely forgot what I was talking about originally. Something about season 2 and the dynamics, I guess. But yeah, one of the main things that was one of the negative developments that happened throughout the series was Jaskir's hair. It kept getting longer, and I didn't like it. I didn't like his long hair. It made him look kind of doofy. It kind of fit, doofy kind of fits his character, but at the same time, like, boy, get a haircut. It don't work on you. I mean, I get he's in kind of a time period setting, whatever, where a lot of guys have longer, like, the shoulder length hair, but not all of them did, and it was definitely not a great look for him. Probably the worst development in the entire series. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, again, trying to differentiate between what happened in season 2 and what happened in season 3, because it's just, it all bleeds together. Triss. I love Triss. She's great. She gets she gets her throat burnt with a torch during the Battle of Sodden. It's morbid and great. And I'm actually kind of sad we don't get to see more of the scars, because they talk about how they're scars, and we get to see a little bit by her neck, but like they don't make a point of showing you any of the scars at all, which is a little sad. Because the whole thing with the mages, especially the females, is they change their appearances magically so they can be forever beautiful, so they can be in court and manipulate the kings and whatever else. So them getting scars is this huge thing. And so they could have made a bigger deal out of it, and they could have made a point of going, look, here is her scar. Here is this mark now permanently marring her skin that makes her less appealing, which is part of their manipulation tactic. They could have used that. I get she's a side character, but she's a very good side character. And that's an aspect we could explore. Especially since we have her run off to the Witcher's fort that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. She runs off, well, sort of. Geralt does technically summon her, but like she kind of flees from court. At first, I think partially because of her scars, because like, yeah, this will weapon, I guess, that they have using their beauty. And she loses some of that because she has scars. And runs off, tries to help Ciri, finds out how powerful Ciri is and like what Ciri is, and kind of freaks out and runs off. And then she's still running from court, trying to be a teacher in... Crap. It's gonna drive me nuts if I don't look this up. Because I should know this. It's Aretusa! I was so close and yet so far. So yeah, she's basically hiding from responsibilities of court in Aretusa, being a teacher to the novice mages. And so that's kind of fun to see, and we have a sphere of her character, and we get to see how, like, she genuinely cares about Ciri, and she genuinely cares about Geralt, and, like, she doesn't want Ciri to get hurt and whatever else, but she's also kind of terrified of Ciri and her sheer amount of power. And so, yeah, that's a fun little aspect of her character, and we love Triss. She's just very lovable. We also have the aspect of the elves. Because the elves and Nilfgaard form an alliance, and that's shaky and whatever, and then things happen, and a pure blood elf is born, and then it gets murdered to drive the elves into fighting for Nilfgaard again, and it's just, ooh, fun. But really, the most interesting part that the aspect of the story that the elves the most interesting thing the elves add to the story is the bigotry between the Northerners and elves. It's great. And it's horrible. And it's just... Oh, it's done well. Because we have them literally just... We have like an elven purge, I guess, in the north. And so there's just this field that is a mass grave for elves. And we have the elves fighting to gain a homeland again because the humans came and they multiplied and they drove the elves out of their home. And it's... So the bigotry and the dynamic between the elves and the humans is great. And a very fun, complicated thing that happens throughout the entire story. And it comes to this peak in season 3 when they're going after things. They're trying to take Aretusa from the mages, and eventually find out that the Emperor, the White Flame, it's not Éomer. That's like Lord of the Rings. I don't remember his actual name. Anyway, Ciri's dad is the one that ordered the death of her child. The pure blood elf that was born in season 2. The mother is the elf queen. I'm bad at explaining things, I'm sorry. But anyway, her finding that out at the very, kind of like at the end of the season and realizing, cool, I've been fighting for my enemy this whole time. Then you, the person I thought was my friend, kept this from me. So peace out. I don't trust you anymore. I'm gonna go cause Nilfgaard some pain. Because when they originally got it and they thought it was, it starts with an R, one of the Northern Kingdoms. They were led to believe that one of the Northern Kingdoms murdered the elven child. And so she took some soldiers into the kingdom and magically killed, like, every child in the kingdom. Every baby. Yeah. Say one thing about this show, it's dark and gory. They blow up an elf. And not in an explosion. He just gets hit by magic and goes like a little jelly bubble. Oh man, what what is that analogy? Anyway, yeah, it's gross. But everyone surrounding him, just the little pop gets drenched in blood. And it's sad because he's one of the few elves I actually had any kind of investment in his character and was like rooting for, because the queen, his wife, like wanted to fight. She wanted to fight back and she wanted to take what was theirs, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, he's just like, we need to survive and build a future for ourselves. And so he wins her over for a little bit when they have their child. He's like, we have hope now. We have a future. We have had the first pureblood elven child in like decades. We don't have to fight. We just need to survive. And then baby gets killed and then they fight and blah, blah, blah. And he still's like a little more hesitant to be trying to wipe out the humans. And I love it. And it's great. And I love his just whole view of this stuff that's happening. And then he gets just popped like a zit. And it's gross and it's gruesome and makes me sad. He was a good elf character. He was just a good character. Oh, the other species we have is the druids that live in a little druid grove. And they're cool. They play a very small role. But they're cool. Yeah. Yeah, season 2, a lot of it is spent in the Witcher Fortress for Ciri and Geralt, and it's fun, and she trains, and it's just fun times. And they're finding like new monsters, which the coolest part of Ciri's power is they find out that her ability can activate portals between the spheres, so like between different worlds. And so she freaked out and the Night Cincture was destroyed and accidentally opened a portal that let new monsters onto the continent. And I love that aspect of her power. And it's cool. And the new monsters part is awesome. Then, of course, in the finale, she gets possessed by an evil witch lady, and so she's just murdering a bunch of witchers, which are already dwindling because they don't have a way to create more, and she's opening portals to be bringing these giant beast things to attack, and she's trying to wipe out the witchers entirely. And then they eventually find a way to basically exorcise her from Ciri's body. Yay! And then they go, okay, we gotta leave the fortress because literally everyone is trying to get Ciri. And so the third season they're on the run, which is when we build up her, Geralt, and Yennefer's family dynamic, which is adorable and I love it, and I'm so sad that it's probably not gonna be the same, if even existent really, in the season 4. Single tear. Yeah. But it really builds on their relationship a lot. Which is great. And then we have Yennefer being torn between, I need to train Ciri, I need to prepare her, I need to help her master her power, and bringing her to Aretuza, and then realizing things are crappy in Aretuza. Mages are essentially having a civil war at this point, like a silent diplomatic civil war of sorts. And just all the things! And then Aretuza gets attacked and it's kind of great. They have a conclave, so they just have a giant party before the conclave, and so one of the episodes is they just go through the party like 3 or 4 times, and each time you get to see different parts of it and sprinkled in, because they're kind of, Geralt and Yen are kind of telling each other what happened, which was an interesting format for it. Yeah. We also find out there's a traitor, and he beats the crap out of Geralt. Which is great, because if you know me at all, you know my favorite episodes and parts of things tend to be when my favorite character is just having the living daylights beaten out of them really, really brutally, either mentally or physically. It's it's a real problem, honestly. It's a bit concerning, but that's me, I guess. So yeah, fun things, giant cliffhanger that we're left on. Siri kills someone for the first time, and it's just, oh, great. He also, like, relinquishes her power, I guess? So I'm not sure if he just doesn't have magic anymore or what, but yeah. Great big cliffhanger to end on. A cliffhanger I may never get resolved. Yeah, those are my thoughts on The Witcher. It was kind of a struggle getting through season 1, guys. I'll be honest. Just about half the time I wasn't watching the screen. Because, oh my gosh. That was a lot. There was so much. There was so much nudity. There's so much sexual content. Why? Why do we feel the need to add it in? Whatever. I've had a rant about this in just about every video since Pillars of the Earth. Yeah. But yeah, getting through that, getting invested in the world and the magic and whatever else was fun for season 1, and then getting more into the characters and invested in them and their relationships and their dynamics throughout the 2nd and 3rd seasons, and getting more into the plot and Sirius power and whatever else. It was all really fun. I would definitely like the world and the concept and all of the ideas and stuff that going behind this story. Yeah. But yeah, drop your own thoughts in the comments. What do you think of the recasting, guys? Honestly, it makes me sad. I don't really like it. I don't really like it, guys. It's I don't know what to think. But yeah, drop your thoughts on it in the comments. Are you planning on watching season 4? I still don't know. But yeah. Feel free to also drop recommendations and requests in the comments. Love to hear those. Post videos here every Wednesday and Saturday, and on the other channel on Thursdays. And I'll see y'all next time.